Welcome back to the show. Today we are going to chat about receiving. And this is such a challenging buzzword for, I'm going to say, a lot of women. I know men and women also struggle with receiving, but I want you to start to think of receiving as a muscle, like it's a receiving muscle. Are you flexing it? Are you working it? So if you are not someone who's familiar with working out in the gym, when you are wanting to get stronger, you have to continually flex and work that muscle. You actually end up having to work it to a point of, you don't have to go all out to fatigue, but you have to work it to a point where it's uncomfortable, where it stretches, where it actually it creates some tears in the muscle. And then as we rest, we gain strength. So when you think about receiving is, you have a receiving muscle? Are you using it? Do you tap in? Do you know or allow yourself to receive? And if you caught the title of this episode and you went, oh my God, I don't want to go here, but I'm intrigued because I want to know, why don't I receive? It will impact your relationships, your life, and your business. Trust me, as here, I'm just going to share parts of myself here. I am somebody who has prided myself in doing life by myself, working hard, just pushing through, and thinking it was a sign of weakness to ask for help and receive it. And it's taken me most of my life to learn this. So I want to share some of these pieces with you today. If you are someone who has felt like, well, it's better to give than receive, right? I know that it's better to give than receive. And it's an incredible feeling to give. There's nothing wrong with giving. But what we want to understand is that if we only subscribe to giving is better than receiving, then we will be blocking ourselves, even subconsciously blocking ourselves to receiving. And we do this in so many different ways, whether it is in a space of not allowing ourselves to receive, creating a meaning behind it, a story behind it. It is then blocking success, clients, people reaching us, the depth of our relationships, marriage, like friendships, all areas. Giving and receiving are literally part of the same karmic cycle. They go together. They're like the two halves of the coin. So clients say to me all the time, no, I just rather give than receive. I don't like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And if you think of it and understand they're two halves of the same coin, if you only, like, the amount that you can give is actually directly proportionate to the amount you allow yourself to receive. So if you're like, well, I don't receive, I'm a great giver though. What if I told you that because you don't receive and it's the other half of the coin, you're only giving like to a tenth of what you could give. And if you feel good at a tenth, then imagine how much better it would feel if you could receive more to be able to give more. And I also would question, this one could hit home. I realize this could be a really tricky trigger topic for you, is that if you give and then you are resentful because no one is doing that for you, no one is showing up for you, no one is giving back to you, doesn't anyone see that I need help? Doesn't anyone want to step in and maybe give me a hand? Yet the second someone does, you're like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. I'm fine. I don't need it. It's all good. Are you that person? Because I was that person for a long time. So again, I promise you, I'm only sharing half of, like, this is how I've lived a big chunk of my life. So let's start with the fact that I want this to land. You are enough as it is right now. You're absolutely enough. And it is safe for you to receive. It's safe. You're worthy of all of the compliments, the praise, the love, the care, emotions, the financial abundance, just because you're here. And I know you might be going, but you don't understand where I'm at right now. Yeah, I do. I get it. I do. Because I've been in some of the worst spots I never thought I would be in. And I've been in great spots. I've been in both. It's not as simple as getting my mindset into a good space. It's not, because everything still requires work and aligned, consistent work. But I could do all the aligned, consistent work and then deep down not feel that I am worthy of receiving, and then block everything that is available and on its way to me. That is not going to move the needle forward in my life or business in any way at all. So receiving is not weakness. It's not that you can't do it on your own. It's not that you're not strong. It's not that you are not capable. It has nothing to do with that. But if you're giving and you're constantly being left in this space of isolation, like despair, frustration, resentment, then you are prioritizing giving over receiving. And that is putting you in a space that can feel very alone and very frustrating, as if no one gets me. Why can't people help out? Why can't they do something? See, receiving is an exercise. It's a muscle. It's an experience that it might feel really uncomfortable for you, honestly. And it's actually a muscle that needs to be worked. So we want to make it stronger. How do we do that? We start with simple things. Like somebody recommended this to me a few months ago, and I went, what a great idea. Buy yourself flowers because you want to. Literally. Get your house cleaned because you want to. Go out for a walk in the beautiful sunshine because you want to. Give back to yourself because you deserve to. Ask yourself what you need and follow through because you deserve to, because you are worthy of it. I mean, my words might sound great, but if you don't believe it, then nothing's going to change. So something in here I want to land to support you in this space right now. What is one thing that you could do for yourself right now? What about practicing gratitude for the things that you have in your life right now? If I sit here at my desk right now, I look around, I'm like, this is embarrassingly messy. And I'm grateful I have my own office. I'm grateful I'm in this space. I'm grateful that my dog is sitting right here, right at my feet because she wants to, which I don't normally record podcasts with her here, but this is what she wants. And I find those pieces of gratitude. I look at the downloads that happen for this podcast and I receive it. The beautiful messages that I get, I receive it. And there was a time when I was not getting any of that. I honestly wasn't, because I had blocked myself so much to keep myself, air quote, safe from others so I wouldn't get hurt. But then I ended up completely isolating myself behind the armor and nothing changed. So actually technically didn't work. And I went through that space. The other thing you can do to practice your receiving muscle is the next time someone says something about you that's a compliment, I want you to say, thank you, I received that. Not, oh my God, thank you, this old thing. Wow, your hair looks great. You look really good too. That's a deflection. I realize that might be perceived as a compliment back because we feel like that give and receive. But since we're flexing a muscle and we're working on this to try and get a little bit better and make it be consistent, I actually want you to say, thank you, I received that. Thank you, I received that. And if it makes you super uncomfortable, then I really want you to say, thank you, I received that. It's unreal the amount of growth that can happen when you allow yourself to receive. When you deflect back and you push back, one of the examples somebody gave to me, it's like, imagine that's like your child, a young child is saying, Mommy, you look great today. Mommy, you're so pretty. And you're like, what, this old thing? Like, that's ridiculous. You are shunning the person who is giving you the compliment. It's hurtful. It's actually hurtful. So not only you're not receiving it, it's potentially hurting the person who is saying something kind to you. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm not even in a space where I have anybody saying anything nice to me, then I'm going to give you the quote that I used years ago when I found myself very isolated from so many people and not having a clue how to even build an inner circle anymore. And it's Gandhi's Be the Change. Where can you be the change that you want to see? So what that means is that I intentionally would do something kind for someone else, even if it was a stranger. Be a Facebook group. I put a comment out, put a compliment out, put a supporting thing out, not attached to their response, not expecting anything in return, and being the person that I wanted to surround myself with. Because the person that I was at that time is not somebody that I actually would want to surround myself with. I had to learn how to change that. So be that person that you want to surround yourself with. I practice receiving by, giving to others in a way without being unattached and allowing myself to receive very small things with repetition. It makes such a big difference. Now, it's important that you respond without guilt. Please don't oh my God, I feel so guilty. Don't say that. That makes me uncomfortable. Again, same thing. It's like receiving with all these yucky attachments to it. That doesn't do anything. So that is definitely not what we want. What I want you to do, the next thing is I just want you to think about is if it's so important that we learn how to receive, it really builds like our relationships, our experiences, our connections, which is really what this is receiving allows us to build much closer connections to people and allow each other to be seen. If it's so important, why don't we do it? I can just share from my own words and my own upbringing that it was selfish to receive. And it was a sign of weakness if you had to ask for help. Receiving creates such a beautiful synergistic connection with people. And that can also leave us feeling very open and vulnerable and exposed. It's scary to our psyche to be open like that. Yet deep down, if we're honest, that's what we crave. That's what we want. We want to have those connections. When you allow yourself to receive more and more, you are sending a message to the universe that says, like, I am so open to receive all the abundance available for me. I'm open. I'm open to receiving it. I know it's coming. I know it's on its way because you're graciously receiving the things that are available now. Know that you are worthy of all of the incredible things that are available to you. And just like I've said with a number of episodes on this podcast, you have to go first. You have to practice receiving yourself first. That means asking for what you need. That means allowing others to help and support you. Think of how much you like giving. Imagine how much someone else likes to give too. So don't take that away from them. I've learned this lesson of receiving probably the hardest way, but I can be a slow learner. The hardest way possible is because I've had a number of different health challenges over my life. And there was a time when I had a staph infection and I had a PICC line, spent probably 48 hours in the hospital. And then every 12 hours for 6 weeks, I had to go in for IV through a PICC line. A PICC line goes in through your arm, right into your heart and puts the antibiotics in there. It was a horrible experience. I'm not going to lie. I think to this day, half the allergies I have are in response to that. But anyways, I digress. I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't move. I was in and out of the hospital every 12 hours. It would take probably 90 minutes to get the IV all done in and out. So I was like, I didn't work for 2 months. I was very sick. I napped in increments and I was just not coping. And this was around the time when we started having issues with our kids. So I remember having to receive help from others. And I remember walking down my stairs once and my kitchen was full of people. They were cooking food. They were cleaning up. They were making things. And I just stood there and it was so uncomfortable. And I was so grateful because I could barely function. So allowing others to step in, I knew deep down there would come a time when I would do that for someone else. And I have multiple times. And I'm just grateful for that experience. My last was when I had my back surgery in 2020. That was another big eye opener, hit across the head to practice receiving. I couldn't drive for 6 weeks. I couldn't put my socks or shoes on, which was humiliating for somebody who's fiercely independent like me. And I could barely get dressed, couldn't shower, and had to ask for help to get my hair washed. And it was just an unbelievable experience. And I remember telling myself that was a practice in receiving. That was a practice in receiving. I was flexing my receiving muscle, knowing I would be giving it back to someone else at some point down the road. I knew it was coming. So when we allow ourselves to be this gracious receiver, we are in this space of choosing love, allowing others in our life, receiving all the things that are available for us, whether it is of financial abundance, whether it is, whether it is people, experiences, all of it is available for us. And here's the thing, the universe could literally walk up. I love this story. The universe could walk up to your door, knock on the door and say, I have exactly what you've asked for. I have it right here on this platter. It's incredible. It's delivering and I've got it for you. And all you're doing is holding on to all the baggage of the things that don't serve you. And you're like, I'm sorry, my hands aren't full. And the universe is saying, just put it down. put it down. Put down the things that aren't serving you and allow yourself to receive what I do have for you, because this is what you asked for. So where are you blocking yourself? Where are you not allowing yourself to receive? And where are you not seeing that you are 100% deserving of receiving all that is available for you? Where is that? I would love to know. There's so much I could go on this. I actually, when I started to deep dive, I thought I could do a extension of this on guilt and receiving. Maybe I will still, we'll see. Where are you blocking yourself and where can you shift this? It can be something so small, but it's a daily practice that you allow yourself. And honestly, so many things are going to expand in your life when you allow this to happen. I hope this speaks to you. I am grateful that you are here. Thank you so much for continuing to share these messages, subscribing on YouTube, and your reviews and ratings. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for you and your support. If you want to join the coaching certification, the NLP coaching certification waitlist, it is in the show notes. The doors will be opening up very, very soon, and you do not want to miss the bonuses that are here. Thank you again. Go flex your receiving muscle. Let me know how you're doing it, and have an incredible day.